Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Wojak, seeing what's going on, help you with best practice, big picture. And obviously, just a quick heads up here, our Twitter is temporarily suspended because there is a lot of other scammers out there that unfortunately are, well, they're getting shut down here. It's really a good thing actually, as a matter of fact, but just keep in mind if you're looking at that or looking for it, it'll be back up online here shortly. We just had to verify some personal information. So just a temporary outage there for the moment. That being said, I hope that you can learn something here today. We're going to go ahead and jump in to the charts, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at updating Fibonacci retracement levels and also some Elliott wave on the 4-hour here, kind of just taking a look at the fact that the bottom is probably in. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that and much more. Again, if you're new to the channel, help support us, help bring us more views by just liking, subscribing, and following us, and obviously enable notifications so you can be abreast on a few things here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few things. We're extending out the support levels, and just to clarify, previous resistance, previous support, turned resistance. Okay, that's basically what we're looking at here. The price action is having a very difficult time getting past the 33,000 range. Okay, so I think it's as low as what, 31 upwards of about 36. So why don't we just say round numbers, 30 to 36,000 is the rough estimate of how strong this resistance level is. We can see it pretty firm and obvious there. You can see my prediction from before. It did come down to bounce, thankfully, but it cannot seem to pass this level. So what does it take to break through these kind of resistances? We'll talk about that and much more. Really quick, let's go ahead and jump on the daily first and kind of work our way down. So on the daily, we can see that we are trending right at 50 on the RSI. Okay, this is basically just a rejection level, so we need to break above this here soon in order to have any legs to stand on. And again, 50 on the RSI is just kind of one of those standard places that you see the price action get stopped out very frequent. Okay, so again, what we want to look at is just kind of, if we can close above that, we'll be in good shape. If the money continues to flow out of this, which we're seeing here, the money flow index is the green lines here, just telling us that the price action is coming down and staying down because we don't have new money coming into this coin. Okay, that's really what it boils down to. And that's why we're finding our average true range at a previous resistance, turn support, turn resistance, turn support, right? It's one of those things where this is a very standard situation, okay? I'm curious where the 20-day SMA is at. We're also getting rejected there too on the 20-day. I don't know if you can see that. It's this green line here telling us that we are underneath key level resistance. It'll take a few days for that to average itself out. Right now, the inverse is applying with Pepe, for example, where it's holding that price action in place above it, but this is holding it in place below it. Therefore, key level resistance, we're under 50 in the RSI. That all kind of makes sense, right? Let's talk a little bit more about the big picture here with the Elliott wave, right? What we want to talk about here is just the fact that the actual Elliott wave has come to fruition. In other words, it hit its highest, it hit its higher highs, 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows, and effectively turned itself around for an ABC pattern. Okay, you can kind of see that. And what that basically just implies is when it fulfills this ABC pattern, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to just start over. It just implies that we've hit our new bottom, and the likelihood of the price action going lower than 13,000 is pretty low. Okay, so keep that in mind. We hit our lowest point fairly recent here over late last week, early I think it was Thursday or Friday rather, and basically just kind of hit its lowest, where we've been since treading water at the exact resistance level that we've anticipated. So kind of standard stuff here, but generally speaking, that's how Elliott wave works. It kind of just lets you know roughly where you're going to be here in the future, and we've already finished that first wave. That being said, we're kind of treading water right at the 50 on the RSI as well, and we also have a MACD divergence forming. Okay, so there's potential for further downside there if this continues to make lower lows. We also can see that there's like these parallel lows here as well that are causing us to kind of retest that same level. Okay, now that's not a positive sign in most cases because the fact that we're establishing lower highs and concurrently parallel lows. For the most part, the price is going to break down, not up, as a result of that. Keep this in mind, however, there is some silver lining, because typically the ascending wedge pattern will essentially continue to break upwards because it came from this original spot though. So you got to keep in mind, like an ascending wedge, like breakout, it'll start from the bottom, come up, work itself into a wedge, and then continue higher. So that's also an equal likelihood of the price going up. I know it seems very contradictory. Is it going up or down? Well, truth is I don't know and nobody knows. But this kind of pattern does have a tendency of continuing further up than down. And most patterns do have like a 60%, maybe 70% probability of continuing in the direction they're supposed to. So I would say that that is slightly more bullish than the rest of the stuff we're seeing here, but I do not love the fact that we're seeing these parallel lows and the price is continuing to retest that level. Keep in mind that can be viewed as a double bottom and the price goes up from there, but you got to keep in mind we derive from the beginning, so it would go down if that's the case. we really just want to kind of not hope and pray that that's the situation. What we really need to see here is to break this descending type of trend, first of all, but more importantly, establish higher lows. Okay, so we're seeing these parallel lows is not great. This next low can just kind of ride it out, just say bounce off 31,000, continue higher. We keep creating these higher lows, then we're going to be in good shape. But until we can establish more higher lows, we're not going to be in a situation to stand on, or a leg to stand on. You see this every time it jumps up and creates higher lows, it's immediately followed by a lower low. Okay, we need two higher lows in order for us to be able to feel comfortable with this. Okay, and what that basically just means is that push and pull with that bulls and bears. And when you establish higher lows, it essentially shows that the bears are giving way and they're no longer trying to sell. Okay, they're turned to buying and in turn essentially become bulls. Right. There's some books you can read or just different things you can kind of talk or you can learn more about the fight between bulls and bears. It's a metaphor by all means, but it's just a mentality of how people view it when they're buying and selling. Conversation for another day. All right, going down the rabbit hole here. Let's just go ahead and summarize and call it a day here. TD sequential doesn't give us any firm indication that we're overextended in either direction. That's kind of good, but also not great because we want a definitive direction here soon, because it can only stay range bound for so long. We're going to see a breakout in the relative near future. We take a look at Bollinger Bands; they're starting to compress. We're starting to see that once they get really close, breakouts occur pretty fast. So we are on the verge of a breakout. I'm speculating we're going to see a retest of this level here, but we got to see higher lows first. So honestly, anything could happen. The last thing we want to take a look at is the cloud. And thankfully, we're still on the right side of the tracks here. So this is another bullish type of sign. I wouldn't say it's significantly bullish, but it does tell us that with us being in the cloud, more so above the cloud, we have better chance of the price going up than down here at this point. But if we close, just say at end of today's trading day, and we are in this range still at 31,000 or lower, then there's a great chance we're going to probably see lower lows, because then that resistance level created by the cloud would push the price down naturally. Okay, so we don't want that, so we want to stay above. So ideally we get a closure today. We're looking for a closure today above 32,000. That would really set us straight and help us have potential to break this resistance level moving forward. And that's what I'm looking for. So that's the summary here. Looking for a closure above 32,000. Everything else is kind of 50-50. We're treading water really at this point, and we just got to see if we can make or break this level. It's a very key level resistance, and it'd be nice to be able to kind of get on through there. So that's pretty much where we're at there. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick little heads up again. Based on what happened with our Twitter here recently, it's really important, and we can use this as a positive to ensure that you are taking every precaution possible to not just trust anyone who says that they are who they say they are. Okay, do your due diligence, make sure you research. We're never going to direct message you first, and everything that you decide you want to utilize on our website or our platform or membership service, it's all done through secure servers, and it's completely, it's very secure, for lack of better terms. We're never going to ask you for your Bitcoin address for you to transfer funds over. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, so just a friendly advice there. Please be careful. It could happen to anyone, and unfortunately happens to a lot of people every single day. So thanks again for joining me here. And again, like, follow, retweet, the whole 9 yards once our Twitter's back up and running. And obviously in the meantime, appreciate you liking and following our YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate you guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.